I think that's why too. My name is Audrey Gale Hall, pronouns she, they, z, and like Mark Anderson helped me realize last week, y'all. That's my favorite pronoun, my number one favorite. I'm your membership coordinator here at Emerson UU Church. Our beloved community of faith, reason, and affection welcomes all to grow in mind, body, and spirit as together we build a better world. If you're joining us for the first time this morning, or if you're back after some time away, welcome. We're glad you're here. Please take a second, if you haven't yet, to introduce yourself to me and to someone else so that you can get more connected. And take a moment, I beg, to fill out our yellow visitor card on the desk outside marked Welcome Center. That way, I'll reach out to you and help you get more plugged into the congregation. We are a church in many places. Some of us are here in the pews, some of us are on the chancel, in the tech booth, and others are watching online from the comfort of their couch or somewhere else. And so for those of you online, make sure to check out the comments and the description of this live stream to join Social Hour after service, which is hosted by Board Trustee Marilyn Rambo. Thank you again, Marilyn. Our world is a different one than it was in 2020, y'all. Who remembers that? Our worship service has changed accordingly. So as many of you know, we're gonna, instead of passing the plates, walk up during the offertory, if you feel so led, to our plates on the left and right of the chancel or to the box in the back in the center. For those of us who are here and those of us who are elsewhere, let's take a moment, close your eyes if you want, to visualize those members of our church, our neighbors, our visitors who are not here in the same location as our bodies. And to remember that we're all part of this beloved community, to feel the presence of people who are kind of absent, but maybe with us across space and time. And since we're now officially in worship mode, when you decide to open your eyes, please direct them towards your phone and switch it to where it won't make any unexpected sounds, although I do want to encourage you, if you feel so led, to live tweet the service. That would be super great. Following the worship service, while people online are doing social hour with Marilyn, folks here are welcome to chill in the gathering place right outside or in the courtyard if it feels good. Although about 15 minutes after the service, you might be going to Jason's Deli. I'll talk about that later. And for those of y'all who are here, please do remember that a lot of the links I mentioned in the service will be posted in the chat now by Marilyn, who's down to make sure that you have access to all the info. And now, for our prelude.
Good morning, everyone. I'm the Reverend Michelle LaGrave, the interim minister of this congregation. I would like to welcome you to our service this morning, which is part of the Soul Matters programming. So hundreds of other UU congregations will be joining us this month in exploring the theme of belonging through worship, religious education, and small groups. Today is our monthly service focusing on belonging. We also have a special guest here this morning that I'll mention now and will remind you again during the announcements. That is Jordan Ostrom. And the bright yellow Side with Love shirt. Jordan is the person y'all work so hard to bring to Houston to be our UU The Vote local organizer. All that fundraising you did has paid off, and here he is. So Jordan will be around at social hour to talk with you and answer your questions if you are here in person. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, wherever you find yourself on your life's journey, whichever your pronouns, whether you've walked in or rolled in or dialed in, whomever you love, you are welcome here.
It is not by chance that you arrived here today. You have been looking for something larger than yourself. Inside of you, there is a yearning, a calling, a hope for more, a desire for a place of belonging and caring. Through your struggles, someone nurtured you into being, instilling a belief in a shared purpose, a common yet precious resource that belongs to all of us when we share. And so you began seeking a beloved community, a people that does not put fences around love, a community that holds its arms open to possibilities of love, a heart home to nourish your soul and share your gifts. Welcome home. Welcome to worship.
This isn't just a place of worship. This isn't just a fellowship of like minds. This isn't just a Sunday morning filled with spirit and topped off with coffee and cookies. This is our church, our congregation, where we're building a beloved community, where we are opening ourselves to each other, where we trust and love and rise and fall together. This is where we feel safe. This is where we know we are welcomed. This is where we belong. For this gift and so many others, we light our chalice.
Let us rise together, either in body or spirit, and join in singing our opening hymn, Gather the Spirit. It's number 347 in the gray hymnal.
Spirit causes upon us.
Sometimes when we hear a story, there's one main character, one person whose point of view we follow through the story. Sometimes there's more than one of these, and sometimes we think we realize we could go a different way. Our story today comes from our Universalist history. It is something that happened in September of 1770. And really, the story starts a little before that. There was a man. His name was John Murray. He grew up in England. He became a minister. He was preaching the good word. And then he started listening to other people's words and realized that there were better words out there, words that spoke to his spirit, that said that nobody is going to hell. Now, that's a conversation we have in lots of different ways now in 2022, but back then that was world-changing. And truth be told, he lost his job when the church he was serving learned that he had these way out there beliefs. So he lost his job. All of a sudden, there's no money coming in. He's trying to support his family. Ugh, things aren't going so well. And then his baby dies. And not long after, his wife dies. I don't know about you, but it's hard to look for a good-paying job when you are feeling destroyed by grief. So he was actually thrown into debtor's prison. As in, he didn't have the money to pay his bills, so they threw him in prison. A family member did bail him out, but at this point, he was just a world of despair. He said, at that time in his life, he wished to pass through life unheard, unseen, unknown to all, as though I ne'er had been. Modern translation, he just kind of wanted to melt into the floor and just not deal with any of it, not have to look into anyone's eyes. He didn't know what he was going to do next. But as many people did in that day, he said, you know what? I am going to go make a new life for myself in the colonies. He didn't really know what that was going to be, but there was one thing he was certain of. He was not going to preach in America. He was done with that minister life. Maybe, he'd help out with somebody's estates. Maybe he'd be a businessman. But definitely no more church for this man. Done. Done, done, done. So the journey from England to the colonies took a long time on a sailing ship. And they were within sight of land when they ran upon a sandbar. The ship was stuck. Now, usually a wind would come and, help them oomph off of it, but there was no wind. No wind whatsoever. So while the captain was figuring out how they were going to navigate that, John Murray decided to become part of a group who was going to go on shore and at least get some fresh provisions. When you're sailing across the ocean in those days, there were no vegetables or even fresh meat. So he went up on shore, started looking around at all the farmers to say, hey, is there something you'd be willing to barter with us? And here's where the second character comes in. He just happened to come across a farmer named Thomas Potter. Thomas Potter was not a fine, educated man. He was a farmer, but he'd been listening for some time and talking with others about intriguing new ideas. One of them being this idea that maybe people don't go to hell. And he was so intent on this that he'd started gathering people, even though he himself was not a minister. He was so intent on this that he built a small chapel on his property. So when this man climbs off a rowboat and comes looking for vegetables, and somehow Thomas Potter hears that this guy was a minister and that he'd heard of this no hell stuff, which they were calling Universalism. Thomas Potter said, hey, I'm going to give you some stuff that they can take back to the ship, but I want you to stay for dinner tonight, and we're going to talk some more. And they talked some more, and they talked some more, and he really was just a really good host to this guy. And then he made his offer. Hey, I've got this chapel. I want you to preach in it this Sunday. Thomas Potter John Murray at this point is thinking two things. One, no, I want to get off this sandbar and get to where I'm going. And two, I said I was never going to preach again. We have all been in these situations in our life where we've decided we've put our foot down, and then suddenly the universe is kind of conspiring to make us do with something. One of the stories says that Thomas Potter just simply said this: I know you want to be on your way, but if the wind does not blow and you're still stuck there on Sunday, just once, just come preach with me. Well, as the story goes, the wind did not blow. Some will say that's a miracle, some will say that's just meteorology and, the downfalls of sailing ships in that time frame. So sure enough, John Murray took that rowboat ashore and he preached what some will say, not all, some will say was the first sermon of Universalism in the United States. He went on to become a minister in several congregations. He went on to become kind of the influencer, the social media brander of Universalism in the United States. A lot of that was due to his second wife, but that's another story. So, in that story, we have two characters. We have the man who doesn't know what direction his life is taking, who is deeply grieving, who is searching for something, but he doesn't know what. It just has to be different. And we have Thomas Potter, a farmer who was intrigued by a new idea and decided to take a chance and take another chance and take another chance, and to put into the world what he wanted and a new kind of community he wanted to create. In our lives, each of us will play both of those roles. The person who is discouraged and searching, and also the person who is providing the hospitality and creating the space and doing what they can to make the magic happen. That is a beauty of religious community, is we get to be both of those characters and take those roles up and down as needed throughout our lifetimes. Julia?
Giving out of what is our own is a transformative act. As a community of faith, we collect an offering not for ourselves or our congregation, but to give to others as a collective action of our community and as a way to live out our shared values. Please give with a generous heart to support our September Share the Plate recipient, the Women's Home. The Women's Home provides housing assistance, residential treatment, and collaborative community services to prepare women and their families to become empowered and productive forces in their communities. And the remaining 25% of our offering goes to our ongoing commitment to Interfaith Ministries Meals on Wheels, feeding Houston seniors. We have 3 ways to give. You can go to our webpage for online giving, or you can put your offering in our baskets or mail the check to church.
How about now? Oh boy. Okay. So, in case you couldn't hear that, we have some new members joining with us today. These are Mike Ho and Leah Olive, and where did she go? Oh, and Ruth is also joining us. Bradley and April Smith will be joining us soon, although they are not feeling well, so they weren't able to join with us this morning. Mike and Leah, I am so excited that you have decided to join Emerson UU Church and become Unitarian Universalists. You have been coming here and visiting with us, and Ruth has been going to RE for many months now, and you have taught RE, and it has been such a delight to have you here. I'm just super, super excited and want to welcome you. I have some gifts for you this morning. As you become new members, we will be presenting you with some flowers, some membership certificates, a welcome book which has little readings and meditations and songs and things in them, and of course a chalice pin. But first, I'm going to invite you to sign the membership book. Mike, would you like to go first? Welcome. So now I would like to invite all of us to join in this ritual of official welcoming. First, I will charge the new members, and then the new members will affirm their charge, and then the congregation will welcome them in. Mike and Leah, as we prepare to formally welcome you into the membership of Emerson UU Church in Houston, Texas, and into the wider world of Unitarian Universalism, we charge you with the following: that you will share your passion and your strength with us, showing up as your holy and wholly imperfect selves. That you will bring with you your need to care and be cared for, to heal and be healed, and to live with authenticity and integrity. That you will bring with you your desire to live a fulfilled and purpose-filled life. That you will offer your creativity and friendship as we offer ours, and that you will share with us our gifts, your gifts of time and talent and treasure as we share ours.
And y'all, I'll feed you line after line. Here's the affirmation. We join this congregation.
We join this congregation.
Not to seek an escape from the world.
Not to seek an escape from the world.
But to join our efforts with yours.
But to join our efforts with yours.
In the building of a better world.
In the building of a better world.
We promise to share our passion and our strength with you.
We promise to share our passion and our strength with you.
To show up as our whole and most imperfect selves.
To show up as our whole and most imperfect selves.
And to live into all that you have charged us.
And to live into all that you have charged us.
We join with you in our mutual need.
We join with you in our mutual need.
For caring, integrity, and purpose.
for caring, integrity, and purpose.
And accept your friendship and gifts as we offer ours.
And accept your friendship and gifts as we offer ours.
And now, our congregation on the YouTube and here in the pews, let's read the unison words together as we welcome this new family. We welcome each of you into the wider community of Unitarian Universalism and into membership in this congregation. We promise to receive you in love as the unique individuals you are, to welcome the ways in which we are alike and the ways in which we are different, knowing this will be how our community is strengthened. We promise to comfort you when you are lonely or afraid or grieving, to rejoice with you during times of celebration, to help you during times of struggle, and to encourage you to grow in mind and spirit. And everybody,
Us do we covenant together. Woo-hoo.
and children and youth, we're going to go play a few games together. Let's head on down.
Ruth. Here she is. This is Ruth Nishioka.
We're going to start with a musical meditation, which will be number 389, gathered here from the Gray Hymnal. We will begin with one small voice and grow to a full chorus, and I will invite you all to sing with us when it's your turn.
Shore.
Spirit, draw near. Spirit, draw near as I settle into myself, as I wend my way down into that deepest part of myself, from whence my source of inner wisdom flows, and my deepest desires reside. Come, Spirit, come, as I find my way home to that place of sweet belonging where loneliness is banished, where I am welcomed with arms and spirits and smiles opened wide, where I am loved deeply, just as I am. I long to be in this place, stay in this place, remain in this place. I am comfortable here. I am at peace here. And so I remain here in the silence for a time. Now, as we return from the silence and the beautiful cooing of a little one, let us remember this feeling of being loved deeply, this feeling of belonging, this feeling of beloved community. May it be so this day and for all days, for ourselves and for all others. Amen, and blessed be.
Every Saturday morning, my husband and I rise early and head off to volunteer at our local food bank. The food bank is supported by people from 28 different congregations, including our Unitarian Church. After we set up, volunteers gather as our director reads a Bible passage and a prayer. As a UU and an atheist, these prayers initially caused me discomfort. As I stood listening, all I heard were the things I did not agree with. But by focusing on the things I disagreed with, I created a sense of separation, of judgment between me and the others. Over 2 years, as my relationship with the other volunteers and the mission of the outreach deepened, there has been a change in my relationship to these prayers. Now, during the prayer, I hear the sentiments I agree with, rather than those I disagree with. I agree that we all give of our time, talent, and treasure to do this work, that the work we do is important in the lives of our clients, that we who volunteer feel called to do this work. But who or what is calling us? This is where the prayers and I diverge. The prayers suggest we are called to do this work because God directs our life and calls us to it. But as an atheist, I feel called to do this work because of my belief that with every act and choice I make, I create a better world. While I may have little control over the larger world, I can help create a better world in my own neighborhood, one client, one connection at a time. Now, as I pray with my friends, I feel a deep sense of connection to them and to the sacredness of this work we all feel called to do. I realize it is my actions and choices that determine my connection to others. Now it no longer matters to me who or what is calling each of us, only that we show up in love and faith to do the work of creating a better world.
We began this morning, earlier in the service, with welcoming some new members. Welcoming is important. It's a critical aspect of what we do. It is a step above acceptance or tolerance, maybe a few steps above that. So welcoming is important. I want us to keep continuing welcoming, and if you had to choose between welcoming, feeling welcomed, being welcomed, and belonging, feeling like you belong, having a sense of belonging. This is a false choice, I know. But if you had to choose between the two, which one would you choose? Belonging. I see a couple people remembered how we're now participating in the sermon. How about the rest of you all? Belonging. I would choose belonging too. But why? What's really the difference? I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking or thinking about belonging as opposed to welcoming or other aspects of what we do at church, but briefly, I think that belonging is somehow bigger and deeper and wider than welcoming. Perhaps it is kind of like the difference between hospitality and radical hospitality. To me, belonging has a sense more of being at home than of visiting someone else's home. And perhaps most importantly, belonging has a critical function that we have needed so much over the last few years during this pandemic with COVID-19, and that is that belonging can be an antidote for loneliness. How many people have struggled with that through the last few years? Almost all of us. So whatever the difference is, really, technically, between welcoming and belonging, I think another big part of it is that sense of connection. It's a strong sense of connection. In this morning's reading, which was called Choosing to Connect, by Priscilla Shumway, she ends with, "Now as I pray with my friends," as the atheist prays with her friends, she says, "I feel a deep sense of connection to them and the sacredness of this work that we all feel called to do. I realize it is my actions and choices that determine my connection to others. Now, it no longer matters to me who or what is calling each of us, only that we show up in love and faith to do the work of creating a better world." Perhaps with this shift, Shumway went from feeling welcome, even though she was an atheist, to feeling like she belonged. How did she make that happen? That happened for her. We don't know because she doesn't tell us in the reading, but my guess is that in order to get there, she had to do a shift in her thinking. She had to choose to connect. She had to choose to belong. That's an important element of belonging that I don't want to lose track of. Yet again, not a primary focus of what I want to talk about this morning. What I really want to focus on are what actions are involved in choosing to connect, in choosing to belong, and to get or to help others belong. And to get there, I in your head. I don't know if you do this, but I do all the time when I'm thinking about new concepts. These images come up in my head, and I imagine what they might look like. We have been talking a lot about the Commission's recent work about widening the circle of concern and how we are creating an ever wider and more wider circle of concern. And as we have been doing this, I've always imagined a circle of people, a big circle of people with some spaciousness. People forming a circle, and with more people even inside the circle. And so as it grows, this circle, more people are able to come in between the spaces we have made between the people and join with the rest of us. We find that we have the outer perimeter of the circle. We move farther and farther back. The circle can grow wider and wider with more and more people inside. So that's how I have been imagining it. And it's felt like a pretty good image until now. Now that I'm thinking more deeply about belonging. So I'm going to change the image, and I hope that you will join me in this. And you can pause for a moment if you want to. Imagine being in that outer perimeter of the circle, one of those people with lots of space between you and the next people. That nice, big, wide, spacious circle. But now imagine turning around 180 degrees and facing outward. Imagine you and all of the people with you opening your arms, opening your spirits, opening your smiles wide, with lots of space in between. And as people begin to approach, you say, "We've been waiting for you." And you usher them inside, connect with them, get to know them, make space, help them make space for new connections with the people who are already inside the circle. You moved inside, ushered people inside with you. Others who were inside that circle moved to the perimeter and face out and take your place. So the circle, this beautiful swirling mass of people moving in and out and welcoming people by saying, "We've been waiting. We've been waiting for you. You belong here. You belong." And just playing with this image, imagining yourself as the one who is waiting with an authentically open spirit. How does that make you feel? Pretty good? When I was talking about the image, I saw some smiles out there, some really genuine, authentic smiles. It does feel good to be the one to say, "I've been waiting for you." Those of us here who are already here, forming and reforming the circle, like Thomas Potter, building a chapel, waiting for a preacher, waiting faithfully, waiting with open spirits and open arms. we have built here at Emerson and also in the wider world of Unitarian Universalism, and we continue to rebuild as the world changes and as new needs arise, a chapel, just like Thomas Potter, a sanctuary, a place meant to be safe, where all people are valued and no one is threatened with hell or anything else. So I'm going to go through a litany here, and I want you to join me. I think you'll catch on pretty quick, because remember, we're participating now, right? Okay. Leah, Mike, Ruth, April, and Bradley, we have been waiting for you. You belong here. You who have come through the doors for the first time today, or the second, or the third, we've been waiting for you. You belong here. You who have come here hundreds of times over the course of decades, we've been waiting for you. You belong here. Skin of any hue or gender of any pronoun, who are neurodivergent or neurotypical and of any ability, we've been you. You belong here. You who still feel like this place, this community is new to you. We've been waiting for you. You belong here. You who are short, thin, or fat, married or not, age, with or parents whose family are chosen or were created by blood. We've been waiting for you. You belong here. You who pray to God or worship the goddess, who call the director, sit in meditation, who find your place in the cosmos or the story of human evolution, who serve humanity by putting your faith in action, you who believe in good. We've been waiting for you. You belong here. All of you, each one of you, staff or member, visitor or friend, belong here with us. We would not be the same without you. Your presence would be missed, and our story would be incomplete. We are waiting for you. Now, whether you have imagined yourself as the one waiting or the one being waited upon, because we all continue to take turns with as we come and go, that's important. We wait for each other, even the people who are already here, right? Not just the brand new people. How do you feel now? Good. I heard one good. No, there's more than one good. I feel pretty good. I felt pretty good getting ready for this. I want to lift up a key part of the Thomas Potter and John Murray. Thomas Potter did not build the chapel after Murray arrived. He prepared ahead of time. So let's think about that for a moment. What have you already built here at Emerson? What sanctuary for the many ways of being and doing in the world is already here? What preparation have you already undergone? Think of a few to get us started, and then I'll invite you to shout some more out if you would like. You did welcoming congregation many, many, many years ago, before we added all the gender pieces to it. It focused mostly on sexual orientation. You did a defund fear book group this summer. You have pronoun stickers available that you could add to your name tags so that people can call you by your correct pronouns. What else? What have you already done? How have you already prepared for people? Ellen?
Reproductive justice congregation.
We are a reproductive justice congregation, which is super. You were ready for that before it came to a crisis point, right? And it is super critical now. That is an amazing, wonderful way of being in the world and speaking up and speaking out. Anything else anybody wants to shout out? What's that? Bathrooms. The gender diversity bathrooms. Our bathrooms welcome people of all and any gender. We assume that people know in which bathroom they belong, right? That does not happen everywhere. People get and worse, whatever bathroom they choose. But here we affirm your choice as knowing where you belong.
I love that we call out and welcome the murmurs of babies, the cries of babies, the sound of
Dory loves that we call out a welcome to the murmurs and cries and sounds of babies. Yes. They add life to the congregation. They add life. All of our musical groups are no audition required. Anyone can come who wants to help make music.
And through all our wonderful programs, you can participate through covenant groups, through, outreach. There's so many different ways that you can find.
Because there are so many ways that people can find their home, ways they join in and belong to the congregation. That is true. Y'all have a lot going on for the size congregation you are. You are busy. All right, I'm sure there's tons of other ways too, and you will think of them in the coming days. That will be a key part of your surveys and cottage meetings and all the different things that you are doing while you are getting ready for search with your search committee. But here is what in for ministerial search. For those of you who are new today, I'm an interim minister helping you get ready for your called and settled. The next question is, what will you build next? We don't stop building, right? We don't just keep recreating what we've done in the past. And we must change with it. That's why our is called the living tradition, right? Because we don't get mired in it. We respect and honor and love it, but we allow it to change as it needs to, as the world changes, as we change, as the generations change and have different needs from our own. You might renew welcoming congregations, the new programming. You might decide to join the Transforming Hearts educational program, which Texas UUJM has purchased for all of the Texas congregations. So those materials are free and going to be available to you, or 100 other ways you could choose to go on building for your future. However it is that you prepare, have prepared, continue to prepare, it is in the preparation that enables us to do what? Open our arms and our spirits and say, we have been waiting for you. You belong here. And yes, that includes the people who are already here, whom we already know, including ourselves, as well as the people yet to be. We continually flow in and unity, come and go, arrive and depart from this circle as we live our whole lives. We are a circle in motion, continuously forming and reforming. Starhawk says, these are some of my favorite lines of hers, "We are all longing to go home to some place we have never been, a place half remembered and half envisioned, we can only catch glimpses of from time to time. Community. Let us be that for ourselves, for each other, for all who would join us, those known and those yet to be known. Amen, and blessed be." Now let us rise either in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, which is number 323, "Break Not the Circle." This day and every day, go with arms, spirits, and smiles wide open, beckoning to all to move in circle of beloved community, where all are loved and all are valued and all belong. Amen. It be.
As I give these last announcements before we head out, I saw someone filling out a yellow card a second ago. Would you up so we can see? Yes, hey, thank you so much. Y'all new here, if you're a while, if you just want to have a conversation with me soon, please, for the love of God, out, because I would love to talk. Also, if you're interested in helping to welcome in some new folks, or if you want to share stories, learn more about membership, today's after service at about 12:15, I'll be upstairs for an open house. So we'll take a tour of the grounds, maybe even welcome some folks on Zoom and get to know each other better. And that's open to members, visitors, friends of all stripes. Also, I want to shout out our choir, our pianist Sean. Y'all, thank you for a special Sunday. We really appreciate you. I also Shumway is here with you the vote. And again, y'all, he is the local organizer that we came together to hire. Chat for social hour, so please don't leave him hanging. Bring all your questions. Also, again, there's social time after this service. Please don't feel like you got to stay. Don't be a stranger. But 15 minutes after service, we have a crew headed to Jason's Deli. There's so much to choose from for what you want to do after. And at 4 p.m. today, our transition team is leading a special event to unpack some of Emerson's history as we pivot towards a new chapter. So if you want to join in on that, it's going to be fully on Zoom. And the join link is in the e-blast, which should be in your email inbox. Yeah, the very last announcement I want to give to y'all is to please participate in our congregational survey that the search team is putting together. You can find that right on the left with a button to deposit it in. You can also find it in the e-blast. If you click through to the link on our website, it'll give you that survey. That's going to be incredibly valuable for us as we gather information about what our members need and are bringing to this conversation about our new minister.